all my comments are relative to what I've been doing, which is generally fast growth ideas. And the kickoff is that when you think about what makes a company successful, and I think Richard alluded to this, I would just go even further than that, which is to say that, and this sounds radical, I think the idea is worth very little. You know, somewhere between 0 and very little. And I say that because, first of all, most businesses that you're starting, there's been another company that did something very similar to that. Hey, look at Google. Google was like the 7th search engine. The reality was just a slightly better product. So an incredibly important takeaway is just acknowledge the fact that your idea is not what's going to separate you. It's really going to boil down to execution, and execution then gets back to people. To use a sports analogy, if you're a sports fan and we're talking about the Yankees, or no, let's talk about the Knicks, who are really bad. If you're a real sports fan, if I went to them and I said, look, I think there's sort of 3 possibilities for the Knicks. We could either have a different strategy, or we could get a different coach, or we could get better players. What do you think? It would be like a 5-second conversation. He would look at me like an idiot and say, we need better players. You spend more time on recruiting and managing people than anything else by far. And it's got to be by far. And so I'll have people say, well, yeah, maybe sales is really important, so I need to spend a lot of time on sales. Well, I don't spend more time on sales. I spend more time on people. In the hiring process, there's sort of 3 elements that are making up the mix. One would be the resume, one would be the interview, and one would be reference checking. And I think if there's any lesson for all of us, and I continue to learn this, is that you're overvaluing the first 2 and undervaluing number 3. I think, and it's another human experiment I'd sort of like to do, which you can't really do, but you know, if the CEOs in this room, including myself, absolutely did nothing, almost literally nothing, but decide they were going to be the talent officer in the company. They said, you know what, I'm not even going to go on sales. I'm not going to worry about finance because my CFO has that under control. So I can't do any of those things. I can only get the right people in place. I actually think there's a reasonable chance that companies would do better.